Hi, this is Craig, and I want to just show you a little bit around our new CommanderOne March 2021 update. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to go over is to show you the interface here, and we've got a new area down here at the bottom. You see this black bar. Now this is a new system status bar. This gives you some information about what's happened in the system. So you can click this up arrow and kind of get some information and see what happened. See some of the activations have gone off, and then any of the messages. Now this ties into a new feature that we have called organizational broadcasts. So this allows an administrator to send a broadcast across the organization or to automatically have broadcasts go off for all the users that are logged in when an activation occurs. So I'm going to show you an example on a hotkey that was previously done. So here is an example. So another user had pressed a hotkey and I received a pop-up on my computer, and this is what it looks like. So it has a hotkey's been activated, tells you what hotkey it was, who activated it, what site it was activated by, and so forth. Now each user can exit out of this hotkey display, and it doesn't disappear on any other screen. They see that display that the hotkey was activated, and they can individually X out on each screen. So they know exactly what's going on with the system and when the siren system was activated. Now the other thing that you can do with this is you can do your own broadcast. And I kind of showed you that at the beginning there. But if you go into your messaging module, there's a new tab in here called Broadcast. Now the broadcast allows you or an administrator to send out a broadcast to the entire organization. So you can enter in a title, what organization it's going to if you have multiple, what color you'd like this thing. If you want it to have a different background color, you can choose one. And then we give you a few different built-in sizes. So we've got a small, medium, and large, and we can also do a custom. So if you want to do a custom width and a height, so if you want to do something that's more full screen, you could do such a thing. I'm going to show you one of the ones I previously had sent out. So we'll just pull up our viewer here again, and we'll see which one of these look like this. So this is going to be a pretty simple one, where this is going to be just where I took the header area, and I just typed in the small test header and I put the body. Now this one's going to be a little more complicated, where we used I used a URL and I put in the Federal Signal logo, and I said this is a test. I'll show you that real quick here. So going back to our broadcast tab, I used a message header and I used an image, and I said, well, I wanted to put in a web address. So I used my little image there, image link. So I put in the FS logo and then I typed a body. And so that's how it came out. You could see how that looks if you wanted to do something like that, where if you wanted to put a message header in and then type a message that perhaps the siren system is being turned off at 5 p.m. because we're doing maintenance, or we're going to turn the computers off and do whatever you wanted to do. Or this could be used for any other internal function. So if you wanted to do something about shift change or anything like that, you could certainly use the broadcast functionality for that. It's an included feature in your CommanderOne organization, and you can use it as many times as you'd wish. So now another cool feature that we have here in CommanderOne is also the out of service display. So now we've taken this. Previously, we had a situation where you would do a broadcast, or you do an activation, and you could get a situation where if you looked at your manual activation and you looked at your status, you could get a lot of pending sirens. So if you had some sirens that were actually out of service that were not used, you could show a lot of sirens that were pending, and they would always stay pending. They would never show that they failed or they were activated. So this rectifies this. So now you can take a siren out of service and it's excluded from those counts, and you can get a more accurate and valid count. So that out of service functionality works with the latest version of Commander, which is 15.9.0.34. So previously you'd use the not used word to say whether a siren was out of service or not. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to set this siren to not used, and we're going to restart our commander. So I'm going to close this down, and then we're going to show how this works in the new commander. Okay, so I shut down my commander and brought it back up. And then now, if we look at our RTU status, we're going to see that not used siren now displays out of service. And if you look along the bottom, there's a new status icon that shows kind of a gray icon that shows this as being out of service. If we configure this site, we show that there's also a new checkbox that says out of service. The not used is still in there, and if I don't change it, it'll continue to make the siren come back as out of service. But I can also change the siren to call it big siren, and I can leave it out of service, and that siren will stay out of service. Now, let's just say my siren was repaired or it was replaced, and I could go back in here and I could bring my siren back into service, and now it'll be counted in all the counts and the polling and so forth. So those were the two big features, our out of service indicator and the changes to the counts and things like that, as well as that broadcast functionality. I think you can find a lot of useful things to do with the broadcast functionality, and as well as the way that it also works with siren activations. So if you have any further questions, contact your local sales representative or contact us here directly at Federal Signal. Thank you very much.